Alrighty, y'all, so today I wanted to make a very quick video to give you my thoughts on a tier list of Superman symbols. I'm going to rank a lot of Superman symbols that Superman has worn over the years and just kind of rank them from worst to best on which ones I feel like are the best symbol crest Superman has ever worn and ever. These are going to go throughout the years. These are going to span comic books, movies, animation, all forms of the character that was presented in it. Now, like I said, I'm probably going to miss some Superman symbols here and there. I mean, Superman's one of the oldest. He's a really old, comic book character at this point, and he's been around for so many decades. I'm sure going to miss plenty of them, but I want to include the ones that this tier list offered, and also some additional ones that I presented myself, and just kind of go from there and give you my thoughts on all of these symbols. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first we have the classic Action Comics Superman logo. This is the very first one that Superman ever wore in his career, I guess you can call it, where, in Action Comics, his first issue, he didn't wear, I don't think he flew. He was more of a crusader than, an alien, if that makes any kind of sense. Like, he wouldn't be fighting Brainiac and stuff. He's mainly just a person for the people. More of a, social, like, crusader. This symbol definitely gives off those vibes. It's like a shield, kind of, with a small S. It doesn't look too bad. I'm actually going to put it in B tier. I don't mind it, but it has so many elements to it that are very foreign. Like, they don't exactly look like the Superman we all know today and love. So that's why it's not on A or S tier. But it has some cool elements, and plus it's the first symbol, the one that kick-started everything. So I gotta give it props for that. So I'm gonna put a little bit higher at B. Alright, now we're gonna put, this is another, I believe, Action Comics Superman, I believe. This was another one. As you can see, his symbol would, progressively change over years of comic books and TV and movies. And obviously we'll get to those later on. But this is another Action Comics one. This one I really don't like. I don't like the triangle. It looks a bit tacky. It's got the red outlining and the S is bigger. It's, like I said, slowly forming into the Superman symbol we all like, but it looks a bit tacky and weird, so I'm not the biggest fan of it. Alrighty, now we have this symbol. This is, I think, when Superman got his own comic book, Superman. As you can see, it is a progression of the Action Comics one. And by the way, if I'm getting some of these symbols wrong and like where they actually came from, feel free to mention it. I'm just kind of, I did some loose research, but I'm probably getting a lot of these wrong. And, also a lot of these are just, I'm kind of inferring where they came from off the top of my head. So, besides the point, this is the next symbol. I think this is when, Superman had his own comic. Yeah, not the biggest fan of this one. It's obviously very close. It's getting closer to what Superman looks like in the modern day. The outlining, the lettering, it's all bigger, but it looks like weird. It looks like weird and like crooked looking. And it looks like the S is like squeezed inside, and I just don't like how it looks. Now we have this one. I'm gonna put this one on C tier. It's a little bit better than the previous one. The S like kind of pops out of the red outlining, so it looks less squished in and weird, but clearly the font looks a bit strange, and the 1940s with their Superman, it just looks very goofy and weird. So I'm definitely going to put this on C tier. It's getting better, but it's not there. Alright, now we have the Max Fleischer Superman symbol. I believe this is the one from the Max Fleischer cartoons. I could be getting that wrong. Feel free to mention. But that being said, I haven't seen those old cartoons in a long time, by the way. It's been very long. I'm going to put this in B tier, though. This is a very good symbol. This is basically, I'm not even sure if the cartoon created it, or if maybe it was the comics that finally, I think it was probably the comics that created the symbol first, but this is obviously right on point to Superman. It's got that iconic crest. The S looks pretty good. It's just got a very strange coloring scheme. It's kind of like going for a black background and like a yellow outlining. it looks a bit kooky in that aspect, but I think I don't know, there's something about it that like really like pops out to me, so I'm gonna put it on B tier. I really like it. The next one, let me see. So the next one is, I believe, a comic book one. This is the one where slowly, surely over time, Superman's symbol was starting to become more and more like the classic one. So this one is I'm gonna put this one on C tier. It's getting there. I think it's another comic book one, but this one's basically the crest, but it's not quite there. Very strangely, it's not quite there. The S looks it looks better than these, absolutely. I'm gonna put this one actually on C tier. I think all the triangle ones don't look good. This one, this one, the S doesn't look too bad. You know, it fits in the crest. It's got that iconic crest shape, and the lettering's fine, but it doesn't look quite right. Especially the borders of the S don't touch the rims, so it looks a bit weird. Looks a bit plain. So I'm gonna put it on C tier. Alrighty, now we have another Superman issue. I guess you can call it another Superman comic one, and this one is very similar to the one we're getting in the modern day. I think by this point they had cracked the formula, almost cracked the formula of the modern day Superman symbol. This one I think is like a trademarked logo, but it's kind of weird. It's like a comic one. It's got, for whatever reason, it looks like the Man of Steel logo, weirdly. And I'm not sure, that's probably like a huge coincidence, or maybe they looked at this one, but it looks a bit weird. The crest looks a bit smaller than usual, and the S looks a bit weird, and it's got these weird alien elements to it. That's why I'm not entirely sold, but it's still better than this triangle crap. But yeah, not the biggest fan of this one. Alrighty, now for the next one. So now we have this one. This is basically, I'm gonna put this one, I'm trying to debate. This one, I'm not exactly sure. I think this could be a 50s Superman logo. Not entirely sure. But that's, by this point, this symbol really cracked the formula. Basically, this is where most of the Superman symbols on this list will get their inspirations of, and as you can see, it basically cracks it. I really like it. I like the straight line. I like the S. The crest looks pretty nice. Nothing looks too kooky. I wouldn't put an A and S though, because there's something a little off by it. But it's basically the classic Superman logo, which I'm really happy for. All right. Now we have the next Superman symbol. This one might be from the 1950s George Reeves one. I have another one here as well from that time period, so I'll get to that when I get to that. But this one, I'm gonna put in C tier. It's getting there. It's the same as this one, but there's slight differences. Like the S looks a bit slimmer, and it looks more out of proportion and weird looking. That's why it doesn't look as good as B symbol. So I'm gonna put this one on C. Not a bad symbol. It's definitely getting there. Just take out some of the weird proportions and kookiness. Alrighty. Next one. So this one is, I'm gonna probably guess on this one, and I'm gonna look at some symbols as well. This is most likely the 1978 Superman film logo. Because the S on that logo is like tilted towards the right, I believe. I could be getting it wrong. And the colors too are a little bit muted on that one and stuff. That being said, this is most likely the Superman 1978 logo. I could be getting it wrong. Could be this one as well. I'm gonna probably put this one. I'm gonna put this one on A tier. I'm gonna put this one actually on B tier. Put this one on A tier. Now, that may seem blasphemy. The Christopher Reeve Superman is one of the best movies ever made. You know, you can complain about the costume a little bit, like, yeah, I mean, he wore spandex and it looks a little tacky. The symbol is really good. It's classic Superman, and it's got that little curve to it. But I've always preferred the curve when it's like straight up instead of like tilted. But other than that, it's a really good symbol. I like this one a little bit more than this one. But on a side note, the first Superman movie is one of the greatest superhero movies of all time. I really enjoy it, and Christopher Reeve did a standout performance. I mean, he might be the best Superman. Who knows? Alrighty. So now we have this symbol. I'm going to put this symbol on A tier. Um, it is basically the modern day Superman symbol right there. Um, as far as I know. I mean, it looks really good. I really like it. Um, it just looks like classic Superman. It's got those right proportions, and I don't know. It looks really good, and it's got that very clean edge look to it. It doesn't feel like bloated like some of these symbols do. It feels nice, clean, precise. It knows exactly what it's trying to say, and I really like it. So you know what? I might put this. I'll probably save it to the end when I re-rank everything, maybe. Alright, next symbol. I believe this is the Crisis on Infinite Earths Superman logo. It's pretty good. I like it. It's nicely proportioned. The S looks really good. It's got that straight. The colors look a bit weird. It's probably just a coloring thing, but it looks good. I like the symbol. I don't think I quite like it as much as some of the other ones on the A tier, but it is a very good symbol. Nothing really looks too tacky about it. The S looks a bit weird, and the bottom curve of the S looks a bit weird. But other than that, it looks really good, and I like it. And I mean, Crisis on Infinite Earths is one of the most iconic comic book storylines of all time. So you can't really screw it up there. Alrighty. Next symbol, we have the I think this is the Lois and Clark TV show from the 90s Superman symbol. Yeah, I'm gonna put it on C tier. There's something off about it. I haven't really seen too much of the TV show. I know it's like a sitcom, like a romance thing. And was made in the 90s. This symbol doesn't look too bad. It definitely gets the point across. The S looks a bit bigger on the bottom, but it feels a bit curvy for no reason. Like it's hard to explain these things. I'm really just critiquing the same symbol, but just slightly different details. But I don't know. There's something a bit off on it. It looks like the S looks like it's slanted more to the left, and the Crisis on like these two and the Crisis symbol looks very similar, but they just do this one a little bit better than this one. So that's why I'm putting it on C tier. Not a bad symbol. Still Superman. Doesn't look too bad. All right, now we have the Kingdom Come logo for Superman. This obviously is a very drastic, different design for the logo. I mean, they took extreme liberties designing it. I've always liked it though, to be honest. I think there's something. I think the color scheme sells it a bit more. If this was like the James Gunn one, which I'll get to later, um, I think it would look a bit weird. But since it's like black and red, it looks a bit better and interesting. I don't exactly remember if in the comic book he had it as the black and red, but I've always liked the Kingdom Come symbol. Um, but you know, looking at it, obviously, it's not the traditional look of Superman. Um, so you know, it's not exactly what you think of Superman, but I think the symbol works. It's like a modern futuristic take on it, but it's still got that S in it, and I still think it looks pretty good. All right, this one's going on F. This looks really bad. I can't exactly tell you where this is from. Um, maybe I could see it real quickly. Yeah, I'm not seeing too much about what this is, and feel free to mention it if y'all watch this video and know what it is. I'm assuming this is maybe it's like a alternate universe Superman or something along those lines. But I mean, what is it? It's like 3 circles, ovals, and like it's got the crest, but that is not Superman. That is not Superman. It takes it tries to do like a Kingdom Come, but it can't exactly nail Superman. All right, now I have this one, F tier. I don't exactly know where this is from, but I mean, look at it. It's not even Superman. Doesn't even have any of the color schemes. Nothing. Like, at least the triangle ones have color schemes, and I don't exactly know where this is from, but yeah, it looks horrible. It's not good. Alright, now we have the black and red one. I think this was the early 2000s symbol of Superman. I'm gonna put this on S tier. Yeah. I'm gonna put it on S tier. It's the exact same symbol of this one, I believe, but like slightly different. But this is really one of the first Superman symbols I saw growing up, and I really enjoyed it. I really like it. It looks good. It's iconic. It's just like Superman. I mean, it is Superman, right? It looks really good, and that's basically what I think of Superman. The color scheme is obviously really different, but I really like it. All right, now we have the Smallville. I'm gonna put this one on D. I'm not. It doesn't. I'm not gonna put it on F because this is not technically a Superman symbol. It is it's the mark of Jor-El from the Smallville TV show. I'm not sure exactly, like the symbol, this is basically their seal, like their house, how it would look like on Krypton. And the idea was that Clark would turn this like number 8 looking thing, this symbol right here, and kind of form it into like the S and become his own person, become Superman. That was, I think, the idea behind it. As a Superman symbol, it doesn't really look like it, but like I said, it's not really. I'm kind of curious why they put it on this list, but you know, it's like the Smallville House of Jor-El symbol. It's not on D because it's not on F because at least it has elements of the logo, and you can just say, you know, it's becoming Superman. So, all right, I'm gonna put the. This is, I think, the Batman Beyond Future Superman logo. This is the one where Superman's in the future and he, you know, is doing his thing with the Future Justice League. They obviously radically changed the logo. I'm not a big fan of this. I think it looks really bad. There's really not much to it that like you can say that looks like an S, and maybe that's obviously not the point, but I've never been the biggest fan. It looks pretty bad. Alright, now we have the Superman Returns logo. You know, this is a little bit of bias, but I grew up on Superman Returns. It was my first Superman movie and seen Superman ever. So when I see the version of the logo from that movie, I get a lot of nostalgia. And it was one of the first things I see. And I look at the symbol and it's got a lot of elements that I like. The only huge critique about it I can really say is I think it's too dark for its colors. It needs brighter reds, brighter yellows, but it's a really good symbol. I would put it on A tier, but since it has a little bit more attachment to me, I'm going to put it on S tier. But I really like the symbol. Alright, I'm going to put both of these here. These, I think one of these, or not both of these, are from the Flashpoint Superman universe, where Superman was like in a lab or something. He was being held prisoner without sunlight. He was like a patient or something. I think this was the symbol that comes from it. I could be wrong. Could be completely wrong. But I mean, what is this? This looks hideous. This does not look like Superman. It does not represent who he is as a character. Yeah, it's bad. Alrighty. I'm going to put the New 52. This is the New 52 Superman logo. I'm going to include this one as well because this is also the New 52 logo. I must have just done two. This is the New 52 logo of Superman. I really like it. It looks a bit sleek. It looks a bit modern. The colors are bright, but I like it. And I overall like the look of the New 52 Superman. You can critique the comic book as much as you want, but I've always liked it. It looks like Superman. It represents. It just has more of a modern flair to it, but I like it. Alright, I'm going to put the Man of Steel logo. Right now, as of the time, I might, like I said, re-rank it later. But I'm going to put the Man of Steel logo right here on A. I really like it. It's got like the classic S, but it looks alien. It looks not from this earth. It, like I said, in that movie, the suit comes from Krypton itself, and you know, it represents that. And I've always liked Man of Steel's Superman logo. It's obviously really different. It's not like the classic Superman logo, but you know, I think that's what makes it pretty cool and distinct. And I've always really liked it. And yeah, I like the Man of Steel Snyderverse Superman logo. Okay, I'll put this one right here. This one, I was going to put on D tier, but it doesn't have enough to make me hate it that much. This is, I think, the My Adventures of Superman logo. I think one of the new animated series that's out. Yeah, what is this, bro? I think they were trying to do like a James Gunn Superman thing, but it ends up looking pretty bad and like not modern looking at all. It looks very odd. Um, so I'm gonna put it on C tier. Really not a fan of this. The colors look a bit weird, but I'm not really critiquing that. The overall design of the logo looks a bit weird, and there's also just way too much red. Like there's barely any yellow. I don't really like it. Okay, I'm gonna put this one on D. This one does not really look good at all. It has more elements of Superman. I don't really know where this is from. Can't really tell you, but this one, the S is like way too squished. It looks way too small and condensed. And the color scheme, you could barely see the S. What were they thinking? I'm not sure where this is from. Can't exactly tell you. But it is hideous. I really don't like it. Okay, I'm gonna put this is James Gunn's Superman, and this is the newest movie. He chose the Kingdom Come logo, and you know, they're kind of the same thing. I do think the black and the red looks a little bit better with the Kingdom Come logo than the traditional Superman colors. But you know, I think James Gunn did a good logo. I mean, to me, it doesn't quite represent Superman. Like, I still prefer the one logos here, like they have the S. But I do really like its design. It goes for a futuristic, distinct look, but it doesn't abandon the core of the symbol. So that's why I'm gonna put on A tier. I do like it, but it, you know, I don't know. It's still a good symbol, and obviously he made really good Superman movies. So, all right, now we have the. This is the animated series Superman logo. I think this might be the same symbol as the one I ranked here. Yeah. Um, yeah. I mean, this is classic Superman. Looks just like traditional Superman. It's got the little, you know, ip at the end, but you know, I really like it. It looks iconic. It's got those colors, and I've always liked the animated series, Superman. I would just think it doesn't reach S tier because it kind of doesn't have like parts of the symbol don't like line up with the edge perfectly. But I you know, it's still pretty good. All right, now we have this symbol. This is a 1940s Superman crest. I'm gonna put it on D tier. Yeah, this one looks a bit weird. It looks like an alternate universe Superman or something, and I'm not the biggest fan. The shield looks okay, but yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the lettering. This is like the Max Fraser Superman, but not done well. Alright, this is the George Reeves Superman symbol. I'll put it on C tier. It doesn't look bad. It looks like Superman symbol, but it looks way too big and elongated for me to really put it any higher. It doesn't look bad, and it gets the core of the character, but it looks a bit kooky and weird to me. Alright, now we have the electric red and blue Superman symbol. So this is from that weird period in the 90s where Superman, you know, was like split, I think, in two distinct personalities or something. He was like a red and blue. I could be getting that comic book storyline wrong, but it was just a weird comic book, and they created this weird electric style symbol for it. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of it. It looks a bit kooky. It looks a bit weird. It looks like it's trying too hard to be cool. Alright. Now let's go to... This is the absolute Superman. So this one is from the newest comic book, the Absolute Superman comic, and I really like it, honestly. It looks really good. It looks like a simple symbol, but it's kind of done in a weird and interesting way. I really like it though. It looks good. There's a few elements to it I kind of miss about the old symbol, but other than that, it looks really good. Okay, this is the Son of Red. I'm gonna put this on C tier. It looks okay. Obviously it's not Superman. It's got a Soviet shickle. um, I don't really, just really can't rake it. I don't think it's my favorite Superman symbol, but you know, it doesn't look horrible, and it has some decent elements to it. All right, now we have the Superman flyby symbol. So this is a canceled Superman movie from the early 2000s before Returns that we could have gotten. It featured a lot of elements that, you know, and by the way, sorry for the noise background in the background if y'all hear it, but this was a Superman symbol that was never really finalized, and Superman Flyby, which was written by J.J. Abrams, never came out, and the symbol never got finalized. This was like one of the symbols, probably the most likely one they were gonna go with, because this one made it to like a statuette mock suit, and it looks pretty similar to the ones that they put on for actors. It looks pretty good. I really like the colors. It looks like the Superman symbol. I would change maybe the yellow and maybe make the crest a little bit bigger, but you know that's why it's not an A tier for me. But it still looks really good. I like it. Okay, so I'm gonna put these two symbols. So first one, this one is I think this was one of the promotional posters they released for the canceled Superman Lives movie. And like I said, most likely this movie got canceled, Superman Lives. It never came out in the 90s. It would have been directed by Tim Burton, starring Nicolas Cage as Superman. And there most likely would have been two symbols in this movie, one featuring his red and blue suit, and then one featuring his black suit. And this one, they released this weird poster, and I'm not sure if it was official, but it was like a teaser poster for the movie. And it features this weird looking S with like a line in through it, and I'm not the biggest fan of it. It looks pretty awful. It looks pretty cheesy, so that's why I'm putting it on S tier. Not as bad as the D tier symbols, but still not great. And in this one right here, it's not all of this is confirmed, and obviously the movie never got made, nothing got finalized. But this was the symbol he most likely would have had when he wore the black suit. And it's got this 90s edge and uniqueness to it. And I don't know, man. There's something about it I really like. It's like the New 52 Superman symbol, but even more extreme. I've always liked it. It looks cool to me. It's kind of like what they tried to do with the electric symbol from the 90s, but actually nailed the look of the Superman symbol more here. And I really like it. I'm going to put it on A tier. I really like it. Alright, y'all, so this is my Superman tier list, my Superman symbol tier list. Before I end this video, let me go ahead and take a look at everything, see if that's where I like it. I'm going to put this one on A tier because it's basically the same symbol. I'm pretty happy with C tier, D tier, F tier. I'm pretty happy with those selections. Debating, because these two are really good. And the Kingdom Come one, I'm not crazy about. You know, blasphemy. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to switch the James Gunn Superman, the Kingdom Come symbol to B, and I'm going to switch these to A. I really like actually the Superman Flyby logo does look really good, and it nails the aesthetic that I like in the Superman symbol. And the Absolute Superman symbol, I don't know, it looks a bit weird without that last part of it. I'm going to actually put this one back on B tier. Parts of the symbol I'm not the hugest fan of. It obviously looks like Superman, but parts of it, not the hugest fan. And the Kingdom Come looks good, but it doesn't have everything I'm looking forward in a Superman symbol. And the Flyby looks really good. The New 52. And the Man of Steel. And, of course, the Superman Lives logo. Alright, y'all, so this is my Superman symbol tier list. Hopefully it wasn't too annoying. Sorry about the distractions and stuff in the background. I hope y'all enjoyed me ranking all these symbols. If y'all want to see more and maybe me ranking more,